Hey guys, my name is Marion, and I just wanted to talk about my experiences with Lyme disease because some of you who do know me have been asking questions or who heard me mention it when I was reading my book. So, where do I start? Do I start at the beginning? I'm going to, but I'll make it brief. When I was I'm going to say 23. It was somewhere in between 22 and 24. So 23. When I was about 23 years old, all of a sudden, I used to exercise. I was 104 pounds. I exercised every day. I did calisthenics. I would just do it at home on the floor, exercise with my own body weight, and do different videotapes back then. And I used to have a stationary bike. And one day I started riding my stationary bike and my knees were killing me. And then as I was trying to do things like sit-ups, my arms were killing me. And I didn't think about it, but 2 weeks before that, I had a stiff neck. I couldn't even turn back in my car to really see if other cars were coming. And, you just think, okay, 2 weeks ago, stiff neck. Now that, all of a sudden, within another few days, I started getting flu-like symptoms, and I couldn't exercise anymore because I was in too much pain. So then I attributed to, all right, well, I have the flu. Okay, that made sense for everything. Thank God at the time, one of my friends said, I'm going to give you a Lyme disease brochure so that you can read what the symptoms are. And as I looked, I couldn't believe that I had so many of them. A migraine too at one point, and I never got migraines. So, P.S. I called one of my friend's doctors, and he agreed to see me, but when I came in, he's like, I don't need to test you for Lyme disease. You just have the flu. And I insisted and said I would like a Lyme disease test. And he took it, and thank God it came back positive because he didn't even want to take it and reminded me that he was the doctor, but he did, and it came back positive, and because it could come back negative even when it is positive. So at least that got me started on antibiotics, etc. Throughout that time, and I'm making this very brief, if you have any questions for the in-between, please direct message me or comment below. So in that time, I went through a series of things. I went through migraines, like really bad. I couldn't step on the floor. I knew if I even took the first step. So that was really bad. But the next really crazy thing was my legs would get paralyzed on and off. It was nuts. And my hands at one point were just like this. It was like someone who had arthritis so bad that they couldn't move. I still remember a day when my sister came over with a friend, and I wanted to make them tea, but she had to help me because I couldn't really hold anything but the mugs. I could hold the mugs at least. And still through that time of being paralyzed on and off, being told I would probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and all this other stuff, I would still take my blow dryer and blow dry my hair every day. It was the 80s. But then I'd lay in bed all day. I just want to do something to make myself feel maybe a little prettier in the beginning anyway. And then that slowly stopped because I was so sick. I was bedridden for 9 months. I ended up losing my job, and it was just crazy times because I was so young. So for another couple of years, I had so many different things. I had Lyme symptoms on and off. However, this is what happened. Oh, how can I leave out the best part? So at 9 months or so, my sister, thank God for her, she's an angel sometimes, really. She's an angel all the time. My sister said to me, I have some motivational or positive type tapes, she called them, and back then they were cassettes. Yeah, I know, I'm older. And she said, do you want to listen to them? And I was like, sure. What have I got to lose? Like, what have I got to lose? I'm laying in bed. I can't do anything. Well, thank God I said yes. And thank God she suggested, because they changed my life forever. Still, I mean, I still listen to, different things all the time. Not on a tape cassette, of course, but it has helped me so much. So it still went on for a couple of years. I had to take different medications for different things, and then came back like a little bit later, but not as bad. And then that was it. It was gone. I don't even know for how many years. I want to say 20, but I had little aches and pains here and there, but nothing like what came about again. So let's go back 3 years ago, going through menopause. My father-in-law, who I loved dearly and still love dearly, Dad, passed, and everyone was sick, and I got sick, and it tumbled from there. It just went crazy, because within a couple of months, I knew it was Lyme full blown. But the doctors wouldn't hear it, and these are different doctors. So I would get questions when I went in like, you sure you're not depressed? I said, every joint on my body hurts. What does that have to do with depression? Well, depression can be debilitating. And I agree with that 100%. But I'm telling you, I had Lyme 20-something years ago. I'm telling you, I know the feeling, because it's such a different feeling. We could say it feels like arthritis. We don't know what arthritis is. But we could say it feels like arthritis. Maybe if I had arthritis, not from Lyme, it wouldn't feel like arthritis. So the feelings are so different that when you have it again, if you've had it that bad. So I know I didn't finish my story before. I'll get back to it. So anyway, I keep going for appointments, and they're telling me it's this and it's that, and they're taking a shoulder x-ray, because that day my shoulder happened to hurt with everything else. And then they're doing an MRI, and I said, it's Lyme. But they wouldn't treat me for Lyme, and mostly because the insurance companies have a protocol. I have heard, I have no idea. And also, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not giving anything like that. Please know that. I'm just sharing my experience with you. So all these different pills, and still wouldn't test for Lyme. Finally test for Lyme, and it came up negative. And I learned so much about Lyme that I know it could switch from positive to negative within a second of the needle going in your arm. So from A to B, or to B to whatever. So I decided, she sent me to a specialist. That came back negative. So she wouldn't treat me. Now, she's a specialist and knows it comes back negative, but explained to me that the insurance wouldn't cover anything. Okay. So I decided, all right, what am I going to do? And coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. So this thing coincided. My husband asked someone to come over to look at our grass, because it was mostly weeds. Still is. That's the way I like it. And they just started talking about Lyme, and he suggested this great place for us. If anyone's interested in knowing more about it, just let me know. And they don't accept insurance, or my insurance doesn't cover it. No, they don't accept insurance. So we knew we had to pay, and we knew that doctor's visits were either $400 or $300 per visit, depending on who you saw that day. And we also knew that we were going to have to pay for a lot of other things, especially that first day. So we decided we didn't care. Whatever it cost, because I was so sick by then because let's see. So it started back up with me in January of 3 years ago. And February, March, April, May, June, July. 6 months later, I'm going to all these doctors. And there were a couple of other doctors, and they had me set up for a rheumatoid arthritis doctor that couldn't take me for 4 months. Thank you very much. So I went like 6 months later, I think it was, or 7. And we were ready to just do whatever we needed to do. And we did. And the first visit, with all the blood tests and everything else, they took 24 vials of blood that day. I still remember because I've had 8, I've had 15, never 24. And they took the blood and did a great job. And they sent it out to 3 different labs. So it ended up showing that I do still have Bartonella from years ago, and I'm there in the Lyme. So it shows that it's something that did come back. So they put me on first probiotics, and so that my digestive system and my system would be prepared. Believe me, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is my thought process. I'm sure if you know more, comment down below. It would prepare my body for the antibiotics. So I did that for a month. And I started on a paleo type diet. That's what they put me on. And if you have any questions about that, let me know also. Too much to get into. And then what else? After a month, they put me on antibiotics, and I was on them for a while. My choice. But we slowly started moving into more natural things after about 1.5 years. And that worked. Now, they also found, which I was very excited, sounds crazy, but they also found that I had a thyroid condition and leaky gut. And I was actually excited because they said that was a cause of some of my weight gain. And I knew that there was one of the causes was because I couldn't exercise at all, and I was exercising every morning religiously. Maybe 1 day a week I didn't, because years ago I was a personal trainer, and every morning I would go to the gym right before work. I'd go get there at like 5. I'd leave there at like 10 to 7, and loved it. And I had to stop that. So I don't even know why I just started getting into that. Now I got to go back in my head to think about this. La la la, Lyme, Jim. Oh, yes, my thyroid. So my thyroid condition helped me to gain a little bit of weight. Me not being able to go to the gym at all and not being able to move a lot. I went to work every day. I think I missed 2 days, but I was in pain most of the time. So, P.S., here we are. It's 3 years later. I still am experiencing a lot of symptoms, but nothing like in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning of this second time around, because I had shooting pains. I remember one of the doctors in the beginning put me on gabapentin, and that's the only thing that helped at the time. And then, throughout time, I started getting a little bit better here and there. So what I'm experiencing now, and I'm on a lot of natural products. If you're interested, let me know. I get them from my doctor's office. I don't get anything for telling you about them. They just really work for me, and it took 3 years, well, about 2 years to get the combination right, and then we switched a little bit. I'm also on a thyroid medication. That's why I started telling you about that. And just found out my thyroid was low again. So I'm actually happy about that because I was able to lose some weight, but then it just stopped. And I know I'm older, and I know I still can't exercise, but I've been trying to walk a little bit when it doesn't hurt. But I was happy to hear that. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because I just got all my tests back a couple of days ago, and my thyroid is low again, so they're up in my dose. Now, sometimes these things happen just because of the Lyme with me. So my blood pressure is always good, but my cholesterol goes up when my Lyme is acting up. So the first time around, I remember it was like 260, and this time around, it started at about 249 when they tested me. Now it's down to 224, and I know that sounds like ridiculous and a lot, but when I have Lyme, it just plays with the cholesterol. I know that I'm getting better because it's going down, so that actually excites me. So, and they did all these other tests, and because they have me on all these vitamins and great supplements, and normally I wouldn't take any of this stuff, but I trust this place so much. Some of my vitamin levels were up, so I can go down in them. And basically, I am getting better for sure. I'm just not 100%. But I'm the type of person who the first time around learns, I'll get right back into that, about from those motivational and positive audios, that I needed to change my thoughts to change my life too. Also, people hate when I say they helped me to combat Lyme. But what I mean when I say that is they helped me to change my attitude about it and to stop thinking sick thoughts, even though I was in pain. So this time around, I kept my positive attitude and still keep it throughout. That doesn't mean that I'm not human and I don't get depressed over it or sad, or I want to be able to do things and then COVID hits and blah, blah, blah. So, and that was even scarier for me because that is an immune system thing, yet autoimmune, yet they don't even classify it in the COVID shots. So instead, instead, I have to go with obese because I do have a high BMI. So I didn't even get my shot yet. I've been afraid, but I haven't been able to yet either. Now I have my name in and I'm just waiting on the shots. But let me go on a little rant here, okay? And I don't normally go on rants. I go on them with my husband, but what is this? Why is Lyme not as recognized as it should be? I mean, I had this when I was 23 years old. I'm 57. It should be a little more recognized. It should be recognized as an autoimmune thing when COVID shots and things like that come out. And it's not even in a lot of shows. It's funny. I watched General Hospital, right? Since it started, probably. Not right when it started. I was too little. But I've been watching it for years and years. And they are so good with showing different like cancer patients and cancer kids, and there were so many different things, and addictions and bipolar disorder and mental issues. And I heard them the other day. They're the only show I've heard say, I can still do everything. It's just Lyme. But I'm going to actually write into them because maybe they don't realize how debilitating it could be. And they might be one of those shows that actually puts it into a storyline. But no one else does. So it's nowhere. And I know it's places, but I feel like it's not talked about enough. It's not thought of as a really, really bad illness. It's chronic. And it lasts. Look at me. 23 started. Here I am at 57 again. And it's been going on for another 3 years again from that Lyme, from that Bartonella. So that's my rant. Guys, any questions, anything, just let me know in the comments below, because I plan on speaking live with you and doing a little series on this because I figure I should. Man, I'm almost an expert in it. I studied it so much. Not really, but, and like I said, not a doctor's opinion or anything like that. Just giving you a little bit so that you can know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Other people experience it, even though it feels like it's the forbidden talk by doctors or insurance companies or people. They just don't get it. And I'm not faulting them. I couldn't even imagine how this feels if I didn't feel it. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more content on Lyme. You will get other content if you hit the bell, so you could choose to ignore it or watch it. I am also a reseller and I have fun online. So thanks, guys, girls, he, she, we, they, them. I don't want to leave anybody out. I say guys just because that means everybody. So have a great day and share your experience if you'd like. And if not, just enjoy the series or any of my videos.